I gave ChatGPT a kingdom and the other one to Grok, and then I let both AI decide what to do with the kingdom. Their children will grow in opposite directions for 100 years. This video is not about who is the best AI, but who will be the most unpredictable. Year 1, I am asking Grok what he wants to do, what biome, what race, what trait, and he wants some mountain with dwarves and with the trait regeneration. He says that dwarves already have the trait miner. This trait allows them to, well, mine faster, and according to Grok there is more resources in the mountains, so this sounds like a plan. I'm then doing the same thing with ChatGPT and, well, he chooses grassland, humans and regeneration. This is like the most no-me trait you could think of, like basic. I think ChatGPT was confused by my request, like he saw it and was like, what? What is this? Yeah, don't bother with this. Anyway, he also tells me he doesn't want something flashy, but something long-term and thoughtful. Let's see. In the kingdom of ChatGPT, there is already one tent, but 90% of the population is sleeping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is crazy. On Grok's side, there is already 3 tents and people working. Everything seems to be just fine for now. And there is also a queen, Gil Hakor. And well, she is, fat. Like, and her husband too. Like this, yeah, this is some character development. But anyway, humans also have a queen, Winnie, right? And she is stupid. And as usual, this will have consequences. And the dwarves are repopulating? 28 versus 27, growth is symmetrical, and both our kingdom are... Wait, how many people are in there? Winnie is a hard-working queen. She expands the kingdom while singing and being happy. And the dwarves have an heir, and I rename her Pablo. I asked Grok what type of trait she should have, and he says, mage? What? Oh, anyway. Well, there is no mage, so I'm lenient and I give her Heart of Wizard and Arcane Reflex also as Demonic Staff. And so young Pablo is running around with her Demonic Staff being all like, look daddy, my staff! Oh, I don't care. Anyway, she's making people happy. Year 12, Winnie, the queen of humans, is not married yet. She's working hard on the kingdom, and so the kingdom is way bigger than one of Grok. Will this have some consequences down the line? We'll see. But the humans also have a library, as well as a farm to get some food, a town hall to govern, and a mine for resources. All this in 15 years. For now, the only good thing for dwarves is better tools and weapons. Year 26 and Winnie is finally in love and, well, you know what. The husband is 19 and she is, oh boy, 43 years old, come on. A boy is born, the heir of the human, and I rename him Paul. He's greedy and fertile, yes. I asked ChatGPT what trait does he want and he said immortal. But this doesn't make sense because there is only 100 years to live, and so I ask anything else, maybe like super health, which you know gives up to 10,000 health points, which is super strong. And he says nope, it's useless and he wants shield instead. Yeah, whatever, but I mean the trait shield doesn't exist, it's only tough, I suppose, which increases the resistance a bit. But dude, ChatGPT, you doesn't know with all your computing data that 10,000 HP allows you to survive anything, while tough makes you slightly more resistant. Anyway, I put a trait and moving on. Year 60 and the dwarves have so much less territory than the humans. This is their town center. And this is the humans. It's a palace with various amount of luxury, and they even have a barracks and a market. I mean, the humans are very good in this game. What's more, Winnie has 2,000 coins just herself, way more than the king of the dwarves, and it's also twice more than the entire dwarf kingdom. That means that if you have 2 Winnies, it's richer than the entire dwarf kingdom. They worked so hard that they have golden fountains. However, all of a sudden, there is a veil of darkness glooming over the kingdoms. This is the age of despair. There is snow and there is famine. We will now see which kingdom is better prepared, the humans with their vast territories, or the dwarves with better tools and weapons. And this being a new era, I then asked the AI to have one last trait for the population. This could be game-changing. For instance, Grok could find a way to catch up with the population deficit between him and the humans, or the humans could stay ahead and keep being stronger. Well, I asked the AI and this is what Grok said. Trait fertile, and this is huge because this will boost the amount of offspring by a lot and maybe allowing the dwarves to finally catch up. But then ChatGPT has a 300 IQ move, well, a quite obvious one, but nonetheless, the trait is blessed. This is OP. Damage plus 50%, health 50%, speed 50%, diplomacy 20%, and crit 10%. This basically makes everyone a super soldier, nearly unkillable. And this is very, very good for the humans. And then I see the dwarf fighting some things. These are cold ones. They are creatures that spawn continuously during the era of despair. But then I see fire? I mean, what's happening? I don't understand quite yet, but in the meantime I see people dying and fighting again and again, and the death toll is quite low over at the dwarves, and if they continue to resist like this and with the fertile trait, maybe they can finally catch up to the humans. There is not much difference right now, and the humans are having a lot of death. Right now everybody is sad and everybody is dying, and there is a lot of fireballs. And then I finally understood where it came from. Remember, the heir Pablo has an evil staff, and she uses it when she sees a cold one. The problem is, she doesn't seem to realize that there is people in between a target, and when somebody is hit, he will slowly but surely die. And the thing is, she saw a lot of targets. Each and every time she shot and fired again and again. You can see how many times, and over time this was a bloody massacre. Grok went to 189 population, and in 1 year there was before 16 deaths, now 48 deaths. 32 more victims thanks to Pablo, and it's not over. Because she will continue to burn people again and again, and over the course of the Era of Despair, I think Pablo killed 100 people over time. This became the first cause of death in the kingdom and in the world, and it's not even over yet. When I was going by the years, a meteorite came and crushed down on Grok's kingdom, and well, killed the queen and the king. But the weird thing is, Pablo, the heir, didn't seem to care. Not one bit. She didn't come to visit, as if the parents didn't matter. Only the evil staff. Remember, back in the day, she used to be all joy and bring peace and happiness to the kingdom. And she was so happy when she got the staff from me. But now it's like this staff is controlling every aspect of her life and turned her into a monster. Year 92, and this is a dire situation for Grok. They only have a weak population, barely 116, because all of them were killed by the queen. ChatGPT is way ahead, and they still have the blessed trait. This will be hard. 3 years later, the snow melts, and we are back in the era of hope. In the meantime, Pablo is behind a pillar doing something. Well, I guess this doesn't matter anymore at this point in the game. They might as well enjoy themselves. Maybe she's trying to forget the impending doom. She's pregnant, and then something happens. She turns into a giant and has 2 new buffs. Power Up, which turns her into a giant with all the stats according, and the Spell Boost, which increases the damage of magic. This turned Pablo into one of the most powerful beings on the entire world. Year 100. I remove the wall, and instantly Pablo, the queen, decides to write a book. I think in fact that this book was a declaration of war against ChatGPT. There is a fierce battle in between the two kingdoms, but all of a sudden I see some fire. But this is not from Pablo, this is another dwarf who got himself an evil staff, and this could turn the tide for the dwarves, because the queen of the ChatGPT is dead. And maybe, just maybe, even by being outnumbered, they can win thanks to the evil staff and Pablo, who is... where's Pablo? Wait a second. Well, turns out Pablo is not going to war. The thing is, Pablo stayed at home, not combating, and basically sent her troops to die in her stead. This is the last betrayal of Pablo against her own people. Because of that, the dwarves are getting slaughtered and the battle is over very quickly. The war has nearly ended, but one question remains: why Pablo did nothing? She knows what's coming for her, devastation and death, but you see, Pablo was already one step ahead. As soon as the capital city of Grok fell, Pablo abandoned the crown and joined the kingdom of the humans. After this betrayal, the kingdom of ChatGPT won. Poe, the new king of the humans, is now ruler of the world, but he should keep an eye on Pablo. Grok's strategy was bold, betting on the dwarves, but ChatGPT was more mainstream but more efficient, developing faster. And besides, Grok could not know that he had a betrayer from the very beginning, from within. This was a crazy experiment and I have a lot more ideas, so if you want to see more, just subscribe to the channel.